नमस्कार। श्री रामकृष्ण कथामृत तव कथामृतं तप्त जीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमंगलं श्रीमदादतं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः। श्री रामकृष्ण कथामृतो प्रथम भाग पंचम खंडो द्वितीयो परिच्छेद. The second chapter continues, reading from second chapter of the fifth section of the first volume of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna in Bengali. Now, in our previous reading, Sri Ramakrishna has told us that, how, falsehood, even in joke, is not good at all. And he was referring to that man who, without renouncing the worldly life, he had put on the gerua, that ochre robes. Sri Ramakrishna says, this is the holiest of the holy garb. Don't belittle it unless and until you have renounced everything. And then he said, they told about those two dramas that he had seen at Keshav's place. And then when one flatterer, when he told Keshav that, sir, you are Prabhu, Mahaprabhu Chaitanya of this Kali. And Keshav then said, he asked, then what about him? What about Sri Ramakrishna? And Sri Ramakrishna said, I told him, I am the servant of your servant. I am the dust of your dust. Don't put me on that high pedestal. And then Sri Ramakrishna said that Keshav had this inclination. Keshav had this desire for name and fame, and that's why he got into it, and he got name and fame. He desired name and fame. He got it. And while talking this, then suddenly Sri Ramakrishna, he got onto the topic of his beloved children, his beloved Narendra, his beloved Rakhal, that they are ever free kind of, they don't need such type of pompousness. They don't need this kind of show off to proclaim their divinity. So Sri Ramakrishna is now talking about Narendra Prabhuti Nitya Siddho. Narendra and others like him, they are all ever perfect. Tader Bhakti Ajunmo, their devotion to the Lord is not just spontaneous. No, it is inborn love and devotion for the Lord. Ajunmo. The moment they take birth with 100% love and devotion to the Lord, to the Mother. They have inborn love and devotion. And when Sri Ramakrishna is talking about his beloved children, Narendra, he is so proud of talking about them. Yeah? And just we can make out the way he is talking now. Sri Ramakrishna, Amrut o Trailokya Prati. He is now addressing Amrit and Trailokya, because they are the Brahmo devotees, they are members of Brahmo Samaj. And he tells them, he has just narrated, in our previous reading, he narrated to them how he saw those two dramas, hypocritical dramas for that matter, that at Keshav Chandra Sen's house. Then, now Sri Ramakrishna brings out the topic of his beloved children. So he addresses specifically Amrit and Trailokya. Narendra, Rakhal, Takhal, Shok, Chokra, Era, Nitya Siddho. Sri Ramakrishna says, how such a proud father, as if talking about his sons. Sri Ramakrishna is telling Narendra, Rakhal, Takhal. Rakhal, Takhal is kind of just to bring in that rhythm. With Rakhal, something to go in rhyming with Rakhal. So Narendra, Rakhal, Takhal, Eshop, Chokra, all these youngsters, all these young boys like Naren and Rakhal, Era Nitya Siddho, they are all ever perfect. Era Jonme Ishwarer Bhakto. Every birth they take birth, they are devotees of the Lord. In every birth. It is not that it just comes spontaneously, and that also for a temporary phase of time. No, birth after birth, they are the great devotees of the Lord. They are ever perfect souls. অনেকের সাধ্য সাধনা করে একটু ভক্তি হয়. Lot of people, they will perform so many austerities, so many the sadhana, tapasya, and as a result of that, they might get a little bit of bhakti after doing uh, rigorous sadhana, rigorous austerities. Little bit of bhakti, একটু ভক্তি হয়ে এদের কিন্তু আজন্ম ঈশ্বরে ভালোবাসা. But these children of mine, these young boys, they they love Lord in each and every birth. It is not it just doesn't come all of a sudden. No, birth after the birth after birth, they get this love for God. And the moment they take birth in a new body, their love for God is there right from that new birth. It goes on and on. They don't have to do any sadhanas, any austerities to get that little bit of ektu bhakti. No, they are filled with love. Jeno Patal Phonda Shiv. Patal Phonda Shiv is the Lord Shiva's emblem, that linga, Shiva linga. It comes on its own from earth. It is called a Swayambhu, which comes on its own. That Shiva image or Shiva emblem, the Shiva linga, tearing of the earth, it comes out on its own. These kids, these children of mine are like that Patal Phonda. By tearing away the earth, they will spring up on their own. Not like Boshanu Shivnoe, not like a man-made idol or image of Shiva, not like that. These are Swayambhu, the emblem of Shiva, which springs out from the womb of the earth on its own. Nobody has to, take a chisel and hammer and cut any stone to make that image or idol of Shiva. No. These guys, these children of mine, these sons of mine, they are like Patal Phonda Shiv. They are like Swayambhu Shiv. Nitya Siddho, Ekti Thak Alada. Now Sri Ramakrishna says that these ever perfect souls, they are class by themselves. They are unique. There is nothing like them anywhere else. They are in their own class. They have their own esteem. These Nitya Siddhas, these ever free souls. Ekti Thak Alada. They are far superior than any other class of devotees. Alada is, they are totally different. In a different league, in a different category, in a different, plane. They come from a different plane. Show Pakhir Tot Bakanoe. Sri Ramakrishna says, all birds, they don't have crooked beak. This thing, the beak is not, for all the birds, it is not crooked. For some birds, it is crooked. So, not every bird has a crooked beak. এরা কখনো সংসারে আসক্ত হয় না. These kids of mine, see how proudly Ramakrishna is talking about Narendra and Rakhal. These kids, these ever-free souls, these Nitya Siddhas, they will never get tempted, attracted by the worldly enjoyments. Worldly enjoyments are not for this category of people at all. Jemon Prahlad, now he equates Narendra, Rakhal and other children of his He equates them to the great devotee of Lord Vishnu was Prahlad. They have no tent of attachment, attraction for any worldly enjoyments. Totally detached. The mind is only focused, centered on the lotus feet of the Lord. They are the Lord. So, that is what the Nitya Siddhas are. Now, Sri Ramakrishna says, Sadharan lok sadhana kore, ishpore bhaktiyo kore. He says, ordinary people, they undertake all sort of spiritual disciplines, austerities, and then they develop love for God. Because of those sadhanas, because of those austerities, like the Vaidhi Bhakti that Sri Ramakrishna had told us, the ritualistic worship and all, they will keep on doing it, and then a little bit, active bhakti will spring in their minds. ঐশ্বরে ভক্তিও করে আবার সংসারেও আসক্ত হয়ে কামিনী কাঞ্চনে মুক্ত হয়ে. Now these ordinary people, how they behave, they will do all the ritualistic worship, they will develop some little bit of love for God, but at the same time they are fully involved in the worldly activities, and they are also enchanted, they are also attracted, they are also affected by lust and greed. That is the state of ordinary beings. They want to enjoy sensual pleasures, they want to earn money, they cannot give up those worldly enjoyments, and at the same time they will little bit of do this puja archana and all those things, and they will develop little bit of devotion, love for the Lord. মাছি যেমন ফুলে বসে সন্দেশ বসে আবার সাধারণ লোক সাধন করে ঈশ্বরে ভক্তিও করে আবার সংসারেও আসক্ত হয়ে কামিনী কাঞ্চনে মুগ্ধ হয়ে মাছি যেমন ফুলে বসে. Now the ordinary people, Sri Ramakrishna is equating them. He is giving an example of an ordinary housefly. Now what happens? Machi, the housefly, what happens? যেমন ফুলে বসে, at one point of time that housefly will sit on a flower, a very sacred, holy flower, beautiful flower. It will sit on that. Shondeshe boshe. Then next moment it will come and sit on a sweet meat. Sandesh is that Bengali sweet, such a delicious preparation. Then from the flower, that fly will come and sit on a sweet meat. Next moment, abar bishtateo boshe. The same fly. Next moment, from flower to the sweet meat, it will go and sit on the dung, on the filth. Now, when these people, they have heard such great praise of the children, of the young boys like Narendra and Rakhal, they were all absolutely, they were still and silent, because they didn't have to say anything, because Sri Ramakrishna told how they are different from these ordinary people. The ordinary people are, this moment they will be sitting on a flower, next moment they will sit on a sweet meat, some sweet, and next moment they will sit on in the filth also. That is the kind of ordinary people. At one point of time, they will get engaged in all the ritualistic worship activities, doing japa, taking the name of Lord, chanting the name of Lord and all that. And the next moment, they get entangled, they get engaged in lust and greed. So Sri Ramakrishna says these ordinary people are like those flies. And then what about the Nitya Shuddha? What about his children? What about his kids? Narendra and Rakhal. Nitya Shuddha Jemon Momachi. Like a honeybee. No, it is not ordinary fly which is sitting here, all the places. No. Sri Ramakrishna says, these Nitya Siddhas, my Norain, my Rakhal, they are like honeybees, মৌমাছি কেবল ফুলের উপর বসে মধুপান করে. It will sit only on the flowers which give the nectar, which gives the honey. They can sip honey from that flower. That is the kind of that is the category of these ever free souls. That is the category of my Narendra, my Rakhal. They will sip only honey. They will sip only nectar. They will never they will never deviate their attention from the flower. It is only flower. Not next moment they will go and sit on the sweetmeat, or next moment they will go and they won't mind sitting on filth also. So my sons are not like that. These ever free souls are like honeybees, only flower, and they won't take anything else. Just sip honey. That is their objective. নিত্য শুদ্ধ হরিরস পান করে বিষয় রসের দিকে যায় না. These ever free souls, they will sip only the nectar of the name of the Lord. They would never even look at the objects of sensual enjoyment. No, that is a strict no for them. They have no need for that. They have born so perfect. They have born ever free. They have no attachment for all these the nonsensical things, for that matter. সাধ্য সাধনা করে যে ভক্তি, এদের সে ভক্তি নয়. He says the love and devotion of the ever perfect, of these ever free souls, is not like ordinary devotion acquired by এদের ভক্তি নয়. Like the kind of ordinary devotion. No. Their devotion is way above. It is absolutely on a different plane. Their way of love and devotion towards the Divine Mother, towards the Lord, towards the Almighty. It is absolutely on a different plane. এত জপ, এত ধ্যান করতে হবে, এইরূপ পূজা করতে হবে, এসব বিধিবাদীয় ভক্তি. You should do, n number of japa. You should sit for 2 hours of meditation. All calculated. All these things. Eirup puja. You should worship the Lord in this manner. This is the way of worshipping the Lord, offering, puja. So all these things, Sri Ramakrishna says, Eshob Vidhi Bhadiyo Bhakti, Vaidhi Bhakti, ritualistic. Do 108 japa, do 1008 japa, sit for meditation for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 1 hour, everything under calculation. That is the way of the ordinary people. যেমন ধান হলে মাঠ পার হতে গেলে আলো দিয়ে ঘুরে ঘুরে যেতে হবে. Sri Ramakrishna is telling about this kind of ritualistic worship. It is like going around a rice field. যেমন ধান হলে মাঠ পর হতে গেলে, going around the rice field along the outside of the ridge, not getting into the field. It is just on the circling around the boundary of the rice field, not getting right into the field. আলো দিয়ে ঘুরে ঘুরে যেতে হবে, on the outskirts. So it is all superficial. Sri Ramakrishna says the devotion and the love and faith in the Lord of these ordinary people who are engaged in this ritualistic kind of worship is just superficial. Like you are encircling the rice field from the outskirts, not getting into the field, not seeing exactly what is happening there to my rice plant, to the rice crop. What is happening there? No, they will only see supervise from the outer periphery, from the outskirts of that, from the ridges of that field, not going in the center of the field. আবার যেমন সম্মুখের গায়ে যাবে কিন্তু বাঁকা নদী দিয়ে ঘুরে ঘুরে যেতে হবে. Or it is like going to a village. Going to a village, just encircling the village from the outside in a roundabout way along the banks of the winding river. বাঁকা নদী দিয়ে ঘুরে ঘুরে যেতে হবে. You don't enter into the village at all. You don't see anything what is there in the village. You just make a superficial inquiry. You just make a superficial observation that okay, just around that bank of a river, as the river is winding around that village, you will just take that round and say, okay, I have seen the village. No, you have not seen. You have seen nothing. You have just seen the outskirts. You have just seen the outer periphery. What about the wonderful, beautiful, the village scenario deep inside the center of the village? That nobody has seen. They only make superficial round, just winding, across that river which is winding the village. That's all. So Sri Ramakrishna says that is the problem. That these ordinary people, they will just get busy in the ritualistic worship, the Vaidhi Bhakti. They won't go into the depth of that devotion. It was just a show off. And what happens as a result of this? That love and devotion also gets generated in their heart to that extent only. Act to bhakti. But whereas Narendra and Rakhal, they are just oceans of bhakti. They are huge oceans of love, of devotion, of attachment to God, because they have no attachment to the worldly enjoyments, not like the ordinary people. They are totally free from that, and that is the reason they may take birth thousands of times. Every time they take birth, they are born with absolute purity. They are born as part of that Satchitananda, the existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute. They carry that existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute nature, birth after birth after birth. So that is what the proud father is talking about his wonderful sons. And these people are there just, they're spellbound hearing these kind of words for Narendra, for Rakhal, and they just they are listening to it. It is absolutely pin drop silence when Sri Ramakrishna is praising his children. So that was a wonderful reading for today, and tomorrow again we will continue the same topic that Sri Ramakrishna is going to tell about the Raga Bhakti and Prema Bhakti again, in referring to these ever-free souls like Narendra, like Rakhal, like Prahlad. So that is our reading for the day. Om Namah Shri Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Thakur, Jai Ma, Jai Swamiji.